Power. It shapes the world we live in. It decides who rises and who falls. Some chase it, others fear it. But whether we admit it or not, power governs everything from the rulers of nations to the struggles of the individual. Throughout history, two minds saw power more clearly than most. One was a political strategist, cold and calculating, who believed power was about control, deception, and survival. The other was a philosopher, fiery and radical, who believed power was about overcoming weakness, both in the world and within ourselves. At first glance, they seem like opposites. Machiavelli is the master of realpolitik, the cold manipulator of the external world. Nietzsche is the prophet of self-overcoming, the warrior of the soul. One teaches how to rule, the other teaches how to rise. But what if they aren't opposites at all? What if their ideas don't contradict each other, but complete each other? What if, together, they reveal the full truth about power? Imagine living in Renaissance Italy. Assassinations, betrayals, shifting alliances, leaders rise and fall like pieces on a chessboard. It's a world where mercy is weakness, where idealism is a death sentence. This was the world of Niccolò Machiavelli. Machiavelli didn't see power as something noble or righteous. To him, power was survival. A leader who clings to moral purity will be destroyed by those willing to be ruthless. His most famous idea? It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Because love is unpredictable. People love you when it benefits them, but love can turn to hatred in an instant. Fear, on the other hand, is reliable. Fear keeps people obedient. Fear ensures survival. Now, does this mean Machiavelli wanted leaders to be cruel for the sake of cruelty? He understood that unnecessary cruelty breeds hatred, and hatred is dangerous. A leader should be feared, but not despised. They should be ruthless, but not reckless. The goal is not to destroy, it is to control. Think about the modern world. Business, politics, leadership, it's still a game of power. A CEO making tough decisions, cutting jobs to keep the company afloat. He's not loved for it, but the business survives. A politician, navigating alliances, knowing when to strike and when to retreat. His kindness won't save him, but his strategy will. This is the reality Machiavelli understood. Power isn't about being good, it's about being effective. But not all power is about controlling others. Friedrich Nietzsche saw power differently. To him, power wasn't about ruling nations or manipulating people, it was about self-overcoming. Nietzsche believed that within every person, there's a force, a drive, a relentless hunger to become something greater. He called it the will to power. It's the force that pushes us to rise beyond our limitations, to challenge ourselves, to struggle, to grow. Because here's the truth. Power isn't given, it's taken, it's earned through hardship, through failure, through the willingness to push beyond comfort. Look at the greatest athletes, artists, and leaders. They weren't born powerful. They built themselves into something unstoppable. The entrepreneur who fails 10 times but refuses to quit. The athlete who pushes through exhaustion, training in the dark when no one is watching. The artist who destroys their own work, knowing they can create something even better. This is the will to power, the refusal to accept mediocrity, the rejection of comfort, the hunger to evolve. And here's what Nietzsche understood. Most people will never do this. Most people will choose safety, comfort, obedience, and that's why they remain powerless. To Nietzsche, true power is not given by society. It is seized by those who are willing to suffer for it. So we have two visions of power. Machiavelli teaches us how to navigate the world, how to be strategic, adaptable, and unbreakable. Nietzsche teaches us how to master ourselves, how to embrace struggle, grow stronger, and never stop evolving. But here's where it all comes together, because true power requires both. Machiavelli's leader, without Nietzsche's strength, a hollow manipulator, forever paranoid, always fearing the day someone stronger will overthrow him. Nietzsche's warrior, without Machiavelli's strategy, a reckless dreamer, running into battle without a plan, doomed to fall. But combine them, that's when power becomes something unstoppable. Think about it. The greatest figures in history didn't just master strategy, they mastered themselves. Julius Caesar, both a brilliant tactician and an unbreakable force of will. Napoleon, both a political mastermind and a relentless self-overcomer. Steve Jobs, both a ruthless strategist and an obsessive creator who never stopped pushing his limits. Power is not just about controlling others. It's about mastering both the external world and the internal world. Without strategy, you will be crushed by those who have it. Without strength, you will break under pressure. To rule the world, you must first rule yourself. So now, the question turns to you. Will you be like the many afraid of power, afraid of struggle, clinging to comfort while others shape the world around you? Or will you be something more? Will you master the game like Machiavelli? Will you master yourself like Nietzsche? Or will you become something greater, someone who understands both? Because in the end, the world does not belong to the strongest. It does not belong to the smartest. It belongs to those who have the will to take it. So, the only question left is this: which kind of power will you seek?